We are making my take on a margarita.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay, one of the first things I like to do, I'm always inspired by my friend. So Heidi actually just recently visited her family in Ohio. So what I did was the prickly pears that she made, I actually turned.
Made prickly pears.
Well, I'm sorry, she brought.
birthed them.
She did.
Ow.
She did.
Ow.
So I turned the prickly pears into a syrup. So we have.
How did you do that?
You boil the prickly pears for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you just mash it. And then you strain the prickly pears, and then whatever liquid you have left, you put that equal parts of sugar in it. And you just boil it and simmer it, and it becomes syrup.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Done.
Like I just have a fruit.
So we are going to take 2 ounces of that, 2 ounces of prickly pear syrup. We are going to take 1 ounce of sour.
Mm. You know I love sour things.
I know you do. And then we are going to take 1.5 ounces of whatever your favorite tequila is.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big fan of the silver tequila instead of the white. I mean, I'm sorry, silver instead of the gold because I think it goes down a little smoother. We'll pour that into there. Then we're just going to put this on top of here. There's also ice in the shaker.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to shake it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, because I'm inspired by our friend Heidi, the spices that she got us from her New Mexico trip, I actually mixed that with some salt and put that around the rim.
What's the spice?
It is like some red pepper spice. It tastes like it's mixed with like a little chipotle, maybe like a little serrano peppers, because it has like a smokiness to the spice.
So we call this a Heidi Margie.
Yes. Yes.
A Heidi Rita. Yeah.
A Heidi Rita. So,
Yes.
Trademark.
when that is done, you're going
We'll sell
to
that in the Richard Wilmore Show store.
pour that in
We need a
there.
gift store.
Oh yes, people have been asking.
Shirts.
Shirts, yes.
Tennis shoes. Sneakers.
Suspenders, fun socks. I want fun socks.
Bling.
I love socks.
Flare. Bling.
Mm-hmm.
Headbands. Flasks. I
We
want.
could maybe we could get that basketball game with my logo on it. I'm sure they'd sponsor.
I would.
Oh, they probably would,
wear
because
that
they have to.
headband
Yeah.
at work.
How many donuts can you get in the basket? If you can get a donut in there, you get it for free.
One for
That could be a game.
you.
If not, you buy everything that's on the
That
floor.
is one for you.
Thank you.
That is one for you. That is one for
Thank
you.
you.
And that is
Smells.
one for me.
Wow.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Ching, 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 ching,
Cheers.
ching.
Scared.
So good.
Ooh.
These are
So good.
so good. Oh my god.
I was expecting it to be like a little hot or like smoky, but it's almost sweet a little.
No, I was about to say the Cointreau and the sour makes it like a nice little contrast, and then the red pepper powder and the salt adds like a nice little finish to it.
Oh.
Oh, clearly
That's
we know who
So
the
good.
chef in the crowd is.
Oh.
He's great with flavors.
Wow. I kind of just want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me a
He
minute.
actually made flavor.
And I was about to say, and it was just one of those things to where I just.
No, you literally kind of made this up this afternoon.
No, yeah, I literally did make it up this afternoon.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So,
So good.
awesome. There actually is some more if you want some more.
When my first guest, or my only guest today, is into wearing an army uniform, he's wearing an apron in the kitchen. It's That Awesome Vegan on Instagram, and his name is Jay Wilmore, and I think
Hello.
you've seen him before, and here he is.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Not bad. How about yourself?
I am perfect. Is the dog barking up there? And okay.
He's done now.
Maybe we're good. Do you remember the first thing you ever made?
I think the first thing that I ever made that I remember making, I'm sorry.
How come when Chelsea Handler has her show and her dog's running around, it's cute and funny, and then when this beast is running around, it's annoying?
Oh, Slade. Probably the first thing I really remember making was probably biscuits. That's like the one thing that really stands out. And I don't remember what we were doing. We were probably watching some Blockbuster video that we rented. And I just remember sitting there and looking at my mom and was like, I think I want to try making something. She's like, well, what do you want to try? I'm like, let's try biscuits and see how they turn out. So,
How old were you?
I think it was probably like 6 or 7 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they turned out?
Yeah, they turned out pretty delicious. Well, edible.
I'm sure they were fine. Let's play a game of bizarre foods. Let's pretend we're on the show. What's the craziest thing you've eaten?
The craziest thing I've eaten. I've probably eaten a few things that I wouldn't say would necessarily be crazy, but would be different. Like I remember having chocolate covered crickets. That's interesting. And that was when I think that was my senior year in sociology class. And then I remember...
You did not make those, did you?
No, I did not make those. I did not make. I wasn't really adventurous at that time. And probably before that, I was in the 4th grade. And my teacher, her husband, is from Belize. So he brought us in some delicacies from there. And one was actually like iguana and some like weird citrus sauce. But it actually was pretty good.
Was it? It wasn't like still in the shape.
No.
Where you just head still staring at you.
No, it was one of those things to where they're like, oh, you should try this. And then after it's like, okay, like this is kind of cool. And then it's like, oh, well, it's iguana. And then everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe I ate that. I was like, well, can't change the fact that it was delicious. So.
Yeah. I think the weirdest thing I ever had was, because I was a very picky eater when I was little, I grew up on cheese, peanut butter, and bread, which I still do. But I didn't like any vegetables, I didn't like any fruit, I didn't really like anything, but I did try alligator ones at a restaurant. It was like fried in little balls.
Was it like nuggets almost?
Yeah.
Like little alligator
Yeah,
nuggets?
and it was chewy, but it was kind of good, but I ate it because I wanted to say I had it. You know, it's like one of those, I mean, I have to have it sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the best thing I've ever had.
Well, it's weird that you mentioned that you were a picky eater when you were younger and you only ate like peanut butter, jelly, and cheese and not really vegetables, and now you're a vegan.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And jelly, not jam, because I didn't like the seeds. Very particular. Yeah, and it's changed a lot. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, now I like most everything, kind of. Except if it's super spicy. Do you have a favorite ingredient?
I wouldn't necessarily say I have a favorite ingredient, but I do like using spices. And I'm that person to where if we're walking down the aisle, I'm about to say, obviously you've been there with me, and I'm like, oh look, this seems different, let's try this. Because I just think, like, spices can just elevate a dish, can turn it to something totally different. So yeah, I would just say, like, spices. Not necessarily just, like, one spice in general, but just spices.
Is there something right now that you're super into using, or not really?
I would say the thing I'm into using right now, our friend Heidi actually brought us some, it's like a spicy, like, pepper, like, from when she was in, New Mexico, to where I love using that now. Even, like, sprinkling some in desserts, and just, like, because I think chocolate and spice goes very well together. So even just sprinkling that on top of something I'm baking, or whether it's something I'm trying to grill or stir fry or whatever, I just think like that spicy powder, I just love it.
You never went to culinary school, and we're not pretending that you did, but you are really good at it.
Thank you.
Do you have any tips for people who, kind of like myself, who I don't like to cook, or maybe people who do like to cook but are just getting into it? Like, do you have any tips for people who to enjoy it more, or to kind of branch out, or anything?
I would say to just get in there and try something different, because you'll just be amazed with yourself if you put your mind to it. And then also make it a social thing, because there's plenty of times to when you're cooking and I'm like, hey, do you need help? And vice versa. And then just having people there to almost like support you, I think is awesome. So just get out there and try, and then just get more people involved in there and helping you.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many recipes online. You don't need to have a whole library of cookbooks in order to cook something that isn't.
No, you're absolutely correct. Just going in there, and you would be surprised if you just find like one ingredient that you like, or one dish.
Mm-hmm.
Just go in there and put, I don't know, like banana recipe on Google, and there'd be so many interesting things that pop up. So yeah, you just have to get out there and try it.
Yeah, explore.
Really. Yeah.
Do you have a guilty pleasure food?
Probably my guilty pleasure food would probably be cheesecake.
Mm-hmm.
I love cheesecake. Just like Oprah loves bread, I love cheesecake.
How many points is that on the scale? What kind of cheesecake?
All different types
Really?
of cheesecake, whether it's plain, strawberry, peanut butter cheesecake, because I believe you made that once, or was it like an almond butter cheesecake?
It's
I
me.
forget. But I love cheesecake, and I love tiramisu. You know, when you can add like a cake element with a cream element, sprinkle some coffee in there too. I mean,
No, sold.
huh?
Sold.
Exactly.
Coffee. Do you have a recipe that maybe you ate when you were eating meat that you're most proud of turning into a vegan meal?
I would say the thing that I really love doing is taking seitan and breading that and frying it, almost making like a chicken fried steak. I think that is good. And then like when I made it that one time, I was even surprised myself.
Well, that's fun. Surprising yourself in a good way.
Yeah.
We are going to play our own version of Chopped quickly with you before we head into the kitchen. What are we making in the kitchen today?
We are going to make blueberry lime donuts with a lime frosting.
There you go. So in this crown are ingredients. You have to pick 3 of them.
Okay.
They're random. You don't know what they are. Pick 3 of them and then tell us what you would make with them.
Okay. Do I pick one and read it out, or just pick all 3 of them?
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
It's a very freeform show.
Okay. So first ingredients we have is lemons.
Okay.
Some citrus with that. Oh my god. Spaghetti sauce. Interesting.
Uh-oh.
And almond milk.
And you can go into our pantry.
Yeah.
It's right here, so you don't have to just make something with those 3.
What I would make with that is, with the almond milk and the lemons, if you take the juice from the lemons and the almond milk, let that sit for a little bit, that pretty much turns to buttermilk.
Okay.
So what I would do with that is almost make like a vegan chicken parmesan. But I would take like a seitan steak, almost like I just mentioned, dip that in our little buttermilk, bread it probably with some panko breadcrumbs, fry that lightly, and I would just put some spices in the spaghetti sauce, put that on top of it, and sprinkle a little vegan cheese on there.
See how easy that is, folks? Who knew you could make that? So there, make that for dinner tonight. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out in the studio. Should we head into the kitchen now?
Let's go.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll be in the kitchen
We'll
with
see
that
you all
awesome
day.
vegan. Goodbye.
Are you there? Hey. Okay, that didn't work. Okay. What the heck is going on? Not sure what to wear as the owner of your business or for that important interview? Maybe you don't know what's too casual for Casual Friday. Or you want a second opinion as you're out shopping for next season's clothes. Or you need a little help editing and updating your closet. Then enter Simply Skype. The Right Fit is now offering virtual styling, and it's the ultimate way to take the stress out of getting dressed because you won't have to clean your house or even brush your teeth. It's simple. Sign up for your virtual Simply Skype session at therightfit.net. Okay, I guess I need to learn how to do this before we go live. Make it work, please.
Hello, we're back. We're not fighting in the kitchen here. Wilmore Studios. We're in the kitchen with that awesome vegan, Jay Wilmore, and we're cooking.
Yes, we are.
What are we cooking? Or baking? We bake, right?
Yes, today we're actually going to bake. I know last time we did a little cooking. We're going to change it up this time. We're going to bake something. What we're going to bake today, we are going to make just a simple blueberry donut, actually blueberry and lime donut with a lime frosting.
All right then. What do we need for such things? Do you need one of these, first of all?
You actually don't necessarily need a donut pan.
Okay.
I find it easier to have one, and then you can get them at your Bed Bath & Beyond.
It was like
Target.
$10.
Yeah, it's $10. They're very affordable. So if you do like baking like I do, and you do find yourself continuously making donuts, I would say invest the $10 in a donut pan, but you don't need one.
All right. Perfect. Let's do it.
Alrighty. First we are going to start with our dry ingredients. In here, we have a cup of all-purpose flour. We have a half a cup of sugar. And then there's also a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. And remember baking powder, not baking soda, because baking soda is super concentrated and they'll rise a lot more. So remember baking powder, not baking soda.
I never knew that.
I didn't really know. I just followed the recipe, but I
Right.
didn't know which thing did what.
Yes.
Sometimes I make up a recipe for pancakes if I'm hungry in the morning, and I don't know which one to put in. So I put in both. Is that weird?
No, actually, some recipes call for both, but what'll happen
Mine
if
does.
you if you use baking soda instead of using baking powder, and the recipe calls for baking powder, they will just rise more than they should have, and then it'll also give it a little more of a salty flavor too.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Look at that.
So,
We're learning the people.
Man.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Cooking and just educating people just a little bit. So we've already pre-mixed this. So we're just going to place all those together and put it in.
Did you like sift it, or you just threw it in there?
I just threw it in there, but some recipes call for sifting. This one does not. When you sift something, you just make sure. Well, sifting just makes it evenly dispersed in your recipe.
Is this your recipe?
This actually isn't my. Well,
Are you getting sued?
No, we're not. We're not. I actually Googled and I found a recipe very similar to this, but I changed it to make it my own.
So it's yours.
So yeah, we can call it mine.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I was a little inspired by someone else, but
Okay.
for all, this is mine.
Who was it? Do you remember?
I actually think it was. I got it from PETA's website.
Oh, okay.
So
they won't be mad.
no, they won't. We're promoting veganism, so they're happy. So we put our dry ingredients in a bowl together, and we have already done that ahead of time. Now, what we have for our wet ingredients, what you need a quarter cup of either vegan butter or another substitute.
Butter.
Or butter if you don't want to make it vegan. I've also, instead of using the butter, coconut oil is great. I've used olive oil is great. Olive oil just makes it a little denser if you use olive oil instead of using the butter, but I like using the butter. It's a lot easier. And then we also have a half a cup of milk. Obviously, since we're vegan, I use coconut milk. And then if you're not vegan, you can use a half a cup of buttermilk. That'll also give it that little bit of that nice little tang. Yes.
Jay, I have a question.
Yes, audience member slash camera woman.
When if you use the coconut oil or any of the other oils, is it the same ratio? How much did you say?
It's a quarter cup, so
It's
it's
quarter
still
cup,
yeah.
okay.
So you're still going to use a quarter cup,
Got it.
whether you use the butter or the oil or whatever oil you like. The only oils I've tried have been coconut and olive oil.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if you're going to get the same if you use like a grapeseed oil or any other oils like that, but I know if you use a coconut oil or an olive oil, it'll still turn out. The oil just makes it a little more dense,
Okay.
but it still makes a great donut.
Okay.
And then, since we're not using buttermilk, to kind of mimic that tang you get from a buttermilk, I added a half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. So just a half a cup of coconut milk, half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Just let it sit there for about 10 minutes or so, and then you'll almost see it curdle, and that's when you know you're good to go.
Okay.
And then also in this, what we add is 1 egg. Because we're vegan, we don't use eggs. So what I use is kind of like what we call a flax egg. So it's just a tablespoon of ground flax seeds and 3 tablespoons of water, and you just let that sit for about 10 minutes. If you are a little crunch for time, what you can do is just mix it, pop in the microwave for about 30 seconds, so you don't have to wait 10 minutes for it to solidify and everything.
Or use an egg.
Or you can use an egg.
I love the whole vegan egg concepts that you guys have taught me that, and I've seen it when I've looked up other recipes, and it's fascinating.
And I've started using, Wendy actually told me using the water or juice from chickpeas
Oh,
from the cans. And
I
I've started
remember where I
using
read
that.
Does it work?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
About 3 tablespoons is 1 egg, so you can probably use that in this too.
You could. I haven't tried that. I know that liquid is called aquafaba. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
And you can use that to make like a vegan meringue, or
Wow.
or it just makes another animal-free binding ingredient.
Very cool.
So,
So you put this on the stove and melt it all?
you put that on the stove and you melt it all until it's very well.
Until it looks like that.
Until it looks like that. And also to
Until
this,
it's melted.
until it's melted. I also added a teaspoon of vanilla extract to this as well.
Okay.
Once it's all melted, what you do is when you have your dry ingredients in a bowl, one thing I like to do is create like a little well inside, so the wet ingredients kind of just sit in the dry ingredients, and then you just take this here and you just pour that inside,
And then just mix it.
and then you just mix it.
Okay.
And then you just mix it until it's very well incorporated. And now, since I said
Can
that,
you overmix this? Because a lot of, like,
I believe you can. I haven't had that problem yet over
right,
mixing
because
something.
you're so good. No problem.
I just mix it until it's very well incorporated. I know when there are certain dishes that where you can overmix something in and it'll mess it up. And one thing that people often overmix, biscuits, very easy to overmix, and waffles, very easy to overmix. But you're just going to mix this until the dry is well incorporated.
What does overmixing do or mean? Like how do you overmix something and what does it do?
It just makes it a lot tougher. That's what happens when you overmix something. Because since the flour, if you're using all-purpose flour or another flour that has gluten in it, when you overmix something, you're just kind of like aggravating the molecules and all that. So it just makes it tougher.
Okay.
Wow, another thing we have
Look at
learned,
that.
Richie.
Educational. This is like watching Sesame Street.
And then when all that is well incorporated in there, you don't see any more dry in there. But you can attest to that it's all well mixed, correct?
Yeah, here, look. Can you even see this, Wendy? Tell me if you can see this.
I can see it. Okay, it looks like
camera.
batter.
Look at the camera.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, the camera can see it too.
Look at that.
And
How's
the
that look?
peeps can see it. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Hungry.
When that is well incorporated, to get the blueberry and the lime flavor,
What do you use?
we use a lime.
Oh.
We're
Wow.
gonna use a lime. That's where you get that lime flavor from. So we just take a lime, cut it in half, and then because I love citrus flavors, we're just going to squeeze that right in here.
So the juice of half a lime.
The juice of half a lime. So that's going to be about roughly.
Should I
No, not yet.
spin it? Oh.
Spin it.
So about to say, if you don't actually want to use fresh lime juice, I'm going to just eyeball it, and that's probably about 3 tablespoons of lime juice. If you don't want to use fresh lime juice, I love fresh citrus, whether it's lemon or lime. So that's why I like using fresh. And then what we have here to get the blueberries, I took, well, not me, my lovely assistant here, took
Where?
10 blueberries, and we quartered them. If you don't like blueberries, you can
Don't watch this episode.
you can also substitute for blackberries, raspberries,
Strawberries?
strawberries even, because I think a sweet citrus fruit and then something that's a little more sour like a lemon lime, they go great together. So you can feel free to mix and match, figure out what you like to get the flavors that you want. And then if you want to put more blueberries in there, you can put more blueberries in there.
Ooh, chocolate chips.
Yeah, you're talking.
Like blueberries and chocolate chips. Did you say 3 minutes?
Close to.
Oh, 2. Okay.
Then we're going to mix that together until it's all well incorporated.
Okay.
And that's it for this. Then we are going to take our donut pan. We've already sprayed it with non-stick cooking spray. I know that's sometimes be a little.
Let's get sticky.
I know.
Ah,
And then
that's
we're just
good.
going to fill this up, and then you are going to pop it in the 350 degree oven.
Are we not filling these up?
I didn't know if we had time to.
Oh, okay. We're gonna fill these up, I guess.
We want to see you filled that out.
And put them. Yeah, isn't that the point of
Okay,
this?
okay, yeah. Can you grab me a spoon?
I guess. I'll just edit all this shit out later. I'm really happy because I do some shit. Let's go back to. Okay. What? What?
Am I stopping?
No.
Okay.
I'll do it. Okay, go. Ready?
Alrighty, and then we are going to, after it's sprayed with the non-stick cooking spray, we are just going to fill up our.
Do you do it to the top?
No, I do it about 3/4 of the way full.
Okay.
Because if you fill up all the way up, nothing bad will happen, but it'll cover the little hole
You talk,
part.
I'll do this.
Yeah. it'll cover the whole part
yeah.
in there. So instead of making a donut, you have almost like a little
Probably what I'm making.
cake, which is fine. It's still edible.
Cakes are good.
I like cake.
If I'll say in that case, then all you have to do is just put some fresh
Oh.
berries and some ice cream on top of it.
I just want to eat the batter like that.
Okay, so not like this, but like this.
I like that.
We'll just do two.
And then when that
We're gonna
is,
put them in the oven, right?
yes, you're gonna put it in a 350 degree oven for about 20 to 23 minutes.
Oh, look at that!
My goodness.
Huh?
And then when it's done, it will look something like this. I'm sorry. And to finish it off, we made some lime icing, some lime frosting. And how you make this is 2 cups of powdered sugar, a 1/4 of a cup of softened butter, whether it's vegan butter or regular butter, about a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then we also just put some lime juice in here. And you just mix it together and it comes out like this.
Okay.
Now you can use a pastry bag, but we're not that fancy, so we're just gonna use a Ziploc bag. Cut the corner off of it. After these are cooled though, so cool them for about a good 20 minutes, because if you just try to put frosting on them, it's just gonna melt it all.
Couldn't you also just leave it in a bowl and take a fork?
You could also do that too.
What's it
Good
called?
idea.
A knife.
If
A
you
knife.
want it.
Yeah, but I think putting it in a Ziploc bag and just drizzling on top of it. Huh?
So the people can see.
Oh my bad, sorry. I just like the way of doing that. Plus, if you had kids or if you wanted to do this with someone, it's fun to get everyone involved. I think Slade
Or
wants
Slade.
some.
Slade wants to
Do
do
you want to
that.
be involved?
And then you can just pipe it on top.
Just like that.
Just like this. And
Oh,
then,
that's a big one.
yeah. And then with that knife you were talking about, you could use that to spread it out. Slade, I swear.
So, not a bag.
No, we could use the bag. Trust me.
The camera person does get to
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Right, okay.
Yes.
I had some of your peppermint donuts during the holidays, and
Yes.
they were amazing.
Thank you so much.
I dreamt about them because they were so good. Not sure what that says about me, but
Do you want to come over and try this? You can just do 3 and then do the ones.
Okay.
Since we're probably out of time. So now we're gonna come on over.
Okay,
Don't be afraid of the camera.
I'm just gonna keep my.
Oh, that one.
Thanks for coming on.
Not a problem.
Thanks for filming and hanging out.
Thank you so
We'll see you
much.
next week. We're gonna eat
See ya.
these, and they're delicious. We love you. Goodbye.
Hey everyone, we're back to the Richard Wilmore Show. And I am sitting here with the famous, or maybe infamous, Richard Wilmore and Mr. Jay Wilmore.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for letting me crash your show.
What an odd angle this is.
It's good to see you over there, and it's kind of fun to be here.
Yeah, just in case, different sides of our faces.
So, I would like to learn, and I'm sure our audience would like to learn a little bit more about both of you today.
Okay.
And I heard we're going to do some cooking.
Not from me.
Okay, but yeah, keep that guy away from the kitchen.
That's right. Jay is the cook in the house, or the chef in the house, and the
Okay.
baker in the
I
house.
try.
You try.
I try.
So we're gonna, I think, do a little cooking for lunch.
I think that's fun, and I'm looking forward to. I heard that you guys are vegans, so I'd love to learn, not being a vegan, a little bit more about that. But my first question is, because Richard, I know this about you, is you have a big love of coffee, and I would love to ask you where that came from, how long you've been drinking coffee, and just why you love it so much.
It's just like a coffee anonymous.
It is.
Hi, my name is Richard, and I'm addicted to coffee. I grew up drinking coffee. My mom drank coffee. My grandma drank coffee. Everyone around me, my dad didn't, but like all the women around me were drinking coffee. So it was like water for us. There's always a pot made.
Right.
And I'm sure there was, but I don't ever remember a time where we weren't allowed to have it.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't remember that time of like trying coffee for the first time. I just drank it and literally always have.
Okay.
That's like a constant memory of mine in my life, is that there was always like coffee around.
Coffee around. I didn't drink it for years, until my late 20s, but I always loved the smell of it. But I do know that you don't put any fluffy stuff in it, so you just drink it straight up, right?
Yep. My dad loves the smell of coffee and hates the taste of coffee.
Okay.
But I wasn't a coffee snob because we didn't have snobby coffee at home until I was working at Borders bookstore.
Yes.
And they switched over to Seattle's Best, and then all the managers had to go through training.
Okay.
So I had to get trained in the coffee shop, and that's where I learned, like, oh, there actually is good and bad coffee. And then ever since then, now I'm a coffee snob.
You're a coffee snob, and I noticed that you also like to hang out at certain coffee places around the town.
Yeah, I love like the little coffee shops.
Yeah.
Because I like the vibe, and they usually have good coffee.
That's what they say. Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. 'Cause I've been fascinated. I've been kept awake by wondering how your coffee has
many sleepless
started.
nights,
Okay,
not
many
from
sleepless
coffee
nights.
intake, but from wondering where. Yeah.
I'm just wondering where your love of coffee
Yeah.
came from.
Exactly.
And it's not that I don't like. I love like the fancy. He'll go and get all like the frou drinks.
Yeah.
But I chug those so quickly, and they're so expensive that I feel like. And then I would need a coffee, so then I just get coffee.
You need a coffee on top of
Yeah.
your fruit drink. Okay, that's a lot of coffee. Okay. So, Mr. J, tell me, do you have a coffee love like Sir Richard does?
I enjoy coffee, probably not as much as he does.
Okay.
I am more of I do like my macchiatos.
Yes.
And my quote-unquote frou-frou drinks, but I do like coffee, just not to the extent that he does. But I can say, ever since you came into my life, like, I have noticed, like, changes in taste in coffee that I probably wouldn't have noticed before, but not to the extent that, like...
And if there's one thing you take away from this relationship, I don't need it to be love. I don't need it to be commitment. I just need to know that you have a better taste in coffee.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Wow, your standards.
Yeah.
They're something.
Wow.
I'm not sure what the heck they are, but they're something. Okay, very good. Well, we know that Richard is the coffee connoisseur, but I've heard that you are actually the chef of the house. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, probably my love for cooking probably started at a very early age. When I was younger, you know, most people would go out and, I guess, play sports and all that stuff, but unfortunately I didn't get the athletic gene when I was younger. That went more to my older sister. So what I would do is I would watch my mom and my grandma cook.
Okay.
So that's probably where it all started from there. And then when I was younger, my mom would have to work. She worked late at nights. So sometimes the cooking was up to us, and it was just kind of something that I took on.
Wow.
So it was probably about, I was probably like 7 or 8 when like when I really started cooking and everything. And that's where like my love for it grew. Was just at a young age watching my mom cook, watching my grandma cook, and just learning from them and then just making it my own.
That was amazing. No.
Did you get any influence, because you moved around a lot when you were little, like you were living in Hawaii and like,
Right.
Did you get influence from all the places you were
Oh yeah, most
living?
definitely. When I first started Slade,
Slate's behind the desk
Right here.
snoring or making some sort of
probably when I first started cooking, we lived in South Carolina. So that's where I got kind of like my southern style from, and then we moved up to Delaware.
Yeah.
And being around, the Bay Area, like the Chesapeake Bay Area, and everything, that's where I really started to like seafood. And then we moved to Hawaii, and being Hawaii, not sure if you've ever been, but Hawaii is such a melting pot of different cultures.
Right.
So I got that Islander experience, I got the Asian influence, and then from there I moved to California. So that's where I started getting influence from the Mexican style of cooking. That was my first, I guess you can say, experience into the plant-based lifestyle. Was when I was in high school. I still remember it. It was my 11th grade sociology class in Channel Islands High School. Hi, Mr. Kochel. And he was a vegan at the time. I'm not sure if he still is. I haven't talked to him, but he showed us.
I'm sure he'll respond to
this.
Sure.
He showed us a PETA video, and ever since then I was like, not going to.
Okay.
So that is when I first was exposed to the vegetarian lifestyle. I was in high school, and kind of that's when everything kind of came together.
Oh, interesting. Now, when you guys met, Richard, because you're a vegan also, were you a vegan at that time? Or
Yeah.
did you? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
it was meant to be then.
I've been a vegan for, it's so hard to like pinpoint because I don't really remember. Probably like 10 years, 12 years. It was in college sometime that I did it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So you guys had that in common immediately.
Well, not at first, because when I first met him, he was vegan, and I actually went back to eating meat.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I was a vegetarian before I joined the Army, and then my first duty station was in Kansas, and not really a lot of vegetarian options. After about like 3 weeks, I got tired of eating only salads.
Okay.
So I went back to eating meat, and it was probably a little over a year and some change ago. Wait, no, it's probably almost been 2 years.
It's been longer than that.
Yeah.
He has a horrible sense of time.
Yeah, when it comes to
dates.
this.
We've been here for longer than, it's been like probably 3 years.
Okay.
Since you've both been.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it challenging to come up with different recipes that meet the needs?
I think the challenging part is getting probably him to try some new stuff.
Okay.
Cause
Richard.
and I only say that
Difficult.
And I only say that because like with Richard, a lot of it isn't taste based; it's textural based.
Okay.
So
That's true.
So there are certain textures that he doesn't like. But a lot of what I try to do is I try to come up with vegan options to foods I enjoyed as a child. And I think it's just trying to recreate, dishes that my grandmother made or that my mom made. That is what I try to do.
Oh, okay. I love that. And it sounds like you're creative and that you like to improvise and I guess you have to. But I love how you're pulling in the homey effect from your childhood and trying to recreate these different recipes. So I'm excited to hear what you might be cooking for us today or making for us. And Richard, might this be something that Jay does more often on your show, just showing us different options?
I mean, if he's good. We'll see how this turns out, and if you like it.
Great.
I have like a love-hate relationship with cooking.
Yes.
Where I like to do it, but I need to be super prepared for it.
Okay.
I need to have a recipe. I need to have everything out in front of me, and then like put it away as I'm using it, so I know I'm not forgetting something.
Right.
And usually my stuff doesn't turn out as good as his stuff. So.
Okay.
But I'm home more, so I end up being the one to cook.
That makes sense.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like the weekends, Jay gets to cook more, so.
I try to. It's. I think he prefers it that way, but it's weird because a lot of times my inspiration will come at random moments. We'll be watching TV and then I'll just think, oh, I should try to make a donut or something.
I've heard
right
about
now.
these donuts.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just very random. It's, I guess, like when creativity hits you, it's just something I have to try, and I'll just try it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well,
It's all about trial and error.
It is with everything,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I'm just throwing this out there. I've heard about these donuts for a while, yet I've not had one yet. So I think that has to somehow be a segment someday, because I need to be the tester. And I think someone named April Doherty would like to be a vegan donut tester too. So just saying. Throwing
it out there.
I know. It's
We might get 5 whole people in this studio.
I know, exactly.
You know,
to watch.
It's one of those things when you just throw it out to the universe, it's just bound to happen.
It's gonna come back.
So.
All right. Well, I'm getting hungry just talking about.
Should we go
all
cook?
of this. Can we go cook?
Let's
please?
do it.
I think
All
we
right.
should.
All right, we're going to take a
Let's do
break.
it. Okay.
Then we're going to come back. We're going to be in the kitchen, and we're going to cook. All right?
Yay.
Awesome.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Are you ready? Because it's time to shape up Harford County. So grab a friend, as many as you want, and join the party. Shape Up Harford County is an exclusive group dedicated to motivating every member to turn the impossible into I'm possible. Group activities like Pound, Bike in the Park days, cardio drumming, and more are free to the group. Find us on Facebook and let's get in shape. We're sitting here.
Yes. So one of the circles will line up, you step in, you stand on it, and then come back behind. And then one of these will do the same, and you either use your feet or your hands and step back. So you go in and out, in and out.
Are we different colors? Or are we just in the same color?
Different lines.
In different lines.
Okay.
That's what means line.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Stay in your lane.
So you want to play different games, maybe 20 seconds?
Sure.
Okay. So let's go ahead to the first game. We'll begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, now. In the center, hard, hard, hard.
Go.
Excellent.
You won.
Okay. Next.
Maybe just one more.
No, the next one is easier. So it's called a handkerchief. So one person's gonna stay on number 6, and the other person's gonna be on 4. And then let's say, Jay, your color base is blue. Then you are going to step on any of these circles that line on blue.
So it's like Twister.
Okay,
Right?
exactly. And then you do red.
Is
So
that
they
also-
switch colors very quick. No,
Okay, so this is just.
exactly just the floor.
We played this yesterday and I think I kicked about 6 times.
And let's begin. You got it.
I think you're blue.
they switch quickly. Oh my goodness. Now you're dancing.
I won again, I quit. It is a fun game if you're good.